Hello, everyone. Welcome to Things Invest. Talk about investing, finance, and professional development. For today's terms only, the investment top today will be Ethereum ticker ETH. First, just want to say happy Thursday, everybody. Have a great week so far. Respect to recording time of 9:19 a.m. on the Eastern time. Ethereum's currently trading $3,782, up about 0.42% so far. Respect to the overall crypto market is relatively green again, ahead of the job report, the big job report that's coming out on Friday, which is a highly anticipated report that will have some correlation to obviously the quantitative tapering plan that we have been cultivating for basically months now, right? Seems like the Feds are watching the needle extremely closely, which will subsequently translate into the asset purchasing activity, $120 billion of bond purchases that we have been incurring for the past months consecutively so far, right? So it seems like with respect to the media affectation front and also on the investor settlements front, mainly coming from the public investor side, is leaning more towards a positive spectrum, right? Expecting that the job report, which should subsequently come out relatively positive, which is the indicator why we're seeing across the spectrum on the equity side and the crypto side green as well. But ultimately, it's still a binary outcome, right? We do not know if we are going to be on the mark, exceeding expectations, or underperforming. We do not know because frankly, we are not the one. We're not the one dealing with the statistics. We are not the one doing the research or gathering the data, right? We do not know. So, and these numbers could be a hit or miss most of the time, right? And also, some of the things that we know on a macro perspective is that with respect to the COVID variants news, it seems like it is worsening in a way, right? We have seen cases across different states that are, especially in New York, right? That some of the cases are spiking, on the West Coast as well in California region, specifically in Los Angeles County area. Seems like some of the cases are spiking, right? And some of my close friends that I actually hang out with quite often, they recently just traveled to a different states, I believe in Ohio and in Arizona. And next thing you know, when they came back, they got the COVID, and they have to be in quarantine for 15 days. But they're doing fine now. But it seems like the cases are definitely percolating on the negative side of the house. So something that could be a negative foreshadow, if you may, that could subsequently hinder the job report number. But frankly, I'm not a magician. I do not have a crystal ball that can see the lens, but we can see the activities, how investors are trending based on the technical analysis, right? So on the other front of the news, we are also seeing other news that are positive. This morning again, I've collected about like 12 positive news, but I'm not going to regurgitate because there are some overlaps in between. So with respect to the first one, Cointelegraph 8 hours ago talking about ADA, so Cardano price hits $3 for the first time, and Ethereum leads the crypto super bull cycle. So it seems like they are excluding Bitcoin completely in the conversation. Seems like Ethereum and Cardano seems like it's like the brother and sister type of relationship that Bitcoin used to have with Ethereum. Seems like Ethereum is leading the way, which is a good sign. Knowing the fact that we are, I mean, me personally, I am a relatively large investor in Ethereum. Currently have 55 Ethereum as a whole. Another one talk about Fox News talk about Bitcoin reaches 50K following Ethereum rises. So another news talking about how Bitcoin is following the surge from Ethereum. So the drag effect is the opposite now. Another good sign of a stamp of approval from the media front, pushing Ethereum as the leading dog now, if you may, right? And another news talking about with respect to a financial astrologer sees the future of Bitcoin on Fortune magazine. I don't really know what the hell is astrologer. See the future of Bitcoin. It seems like that has to do with some scientific methodology that I'm not aware of. But it's an interesting article talk about a speculative type of predictions for the future of Bitcoin with respect to value proposition, the usage of it on the commercialization front, and even a price target, right? And then another article came out on Decrypt about 12 hours ago with respect to there are a lot of NFL, NBA stars are investing into like Bored Apes, crypto punks, and other NFTs, right? So with these type of knowing the fact that these are like the new flex, if you may, right? Among ambitious young individuals, and most of the time these athletes are young, ambitious individuals and wealthy at the relatively young age. So why flex with like the Lamborghinis or like the Pateks or the Rolexes of the world, right? They are flexing with Ethereum NFTs now, which is it is expensive, right? $180,000 for a picture that Curry has bought, right? A picture of an ape in like a blue hair tone with a camel suit colorway, right? So it's an interesting waspy picture in a JPEG format. And that's pretty much it on the news so far. And then also another news talking about Vitaly Buterin sharing some of the hardest lessons learned from Ethereum when he was building Ethereum, right? So it's like a good story that motivates people. So it's another story that's worth reading. So with respect to the current state that we're at right now, looking at the technical analysis, seems like we had that green surge yesterday because of just more FOMO and obviously with respect to just massive media affectation, specifically talking about the global adoptions for NFT, right? The popularization as well. So there are a lot of investors, coming in, and at the same time, we did form a golden cross, right? As we talked about earlier, when you see a golden cross, the next leap up will be technically the 3,800, and technically we did reach there, right? Well, I think at one point on, I was checking my Robinhood app, we hit 3,830, so that was exactly the price of a technical reach that we got to, right? I know we talked about 3,843, so we're $13 off. So I give myself that discount, I guess, with respect to the preciseness of what we're talking about. And seems like we are forming a wedge, right? And with respect to the wedge that we're durating, despite the golden cross, which is a good sign if the RSI was all the way below on the 40s, right? However, we are we're above the equator line, so I think the cross section should be durating relatively shortly. I don't think it's gonna keep going. I think we need to sell off a little bit. We might continue to oscillate going upward to reach above all-time high sometime soon. And I think by November or December, that could technically happen, right? Because again, right, the price target for year-end Ethereum should technically be somewhere close to be above all-time high, right? I said somewhere around like 5,000 to 6,000, even 7,000, depending on how big is the wedge. If you look at it, you could like kind of fix up the wedge a little bit. But ultimately, this is still speculative as to see are we surging more today, right? But I think the next level above the 3,850 would technically be 4,000 flat, $4,030, right? So we keep leaping that way. You will basically increase the wedge even further up, and that could drag out the surge even longer. However, this would only be the case if the RSI was below here, right? So this kind of is a mixed signal at the moment. And with respect to the job report tomorrow, knowing the fact that we have already incurred such large surge, and also we have incurred such large surge ever since this July 20th of the B Word Summit, and the whales have bought in, remember, right, the 2,450, 2,750 around these levels here, right? So would this last hurrah incentivize a large sell-off, especially knowing the fact that it's the job report tomorrow, and then it's the Labor Day weekend. Labor Day weekend durates basically it's a U.S. holiday for those that are not in America. From basically, obviously, I think some people are even taking Fridays off, Saturday, Sunday, obviously, and then Monday. Monday on September 6th is Labor Day, and I know that after that on Tuesday is a Jewish holiday as well. So technically, we have a very long holiday coming up. Yeah, extremely long one. 4 days holiday this weekend. So would the whales be incentivized to sell off so they could go on to have parties and stuff while utilizing public investors' money to do so? Um, Remember the weekend affectation that we have talked about before, right? And also with respect to the media front, they are going to be probably cooling down a little bit, right? I think publishers are probably taking some time off as well, right? So we have to encapsulate all of that, right? But ultimately, we are not wizards. We do not predict the future. We just look at what the technical tells us, translate into the risk profile. It seems like we are at the still in the complacency stage. We are, trying to, sustain the next rally. We are, we keep reminding ourselves that, oh my God, I'm missing out. We just need to cool off. Like this is gonna keep going, right? But the picture looks too comparable for us to, you know, to say the other way around. You know what I'm trying to say? So for me, knowing the fact that again, like for me, right, I do have a large position already. I like it makes no sense for me to incur more risk at the moment when the fact that I have about like $250,000 of Ethereum at the moment, over $250,000 of Ethereum at the moment right now. So I would just wait until we come back down because market cycle has to go through its oscillation. It needs to go through the 360 degrees. So getting 3,000, 2,750, 2,450 would be the level that I would buy at. I think, if I miss out completely, I miss out completely. But that's wouldn't make sense because the technical tells me so. We are still overbought. It needs to come back down, ideally, for us to keep leaping up, right? Remember, we've leaped up for over a month now. Well, nearly over a month now. So that's something we have to be mindful of, right? When people are being greedy, we have to be extra cautious, right? And I'm just telling you guys what I'm doing. And if you want to buy it now at the moment, right now, it's totally okay because long term wise, 12 months price target, we will get way above the level that we at right now. 5 digits is our ultimate goal, right? My price target for myself is $25,000, right? So we still have a long way to go if you think about it that way, right? So if we are talking about like, oh, should we be buying like 3,750, 4,000? Just think long term. If you think long term, you will never lose the game. You know what I'm trying to say? So hopefully this is helpful, and I'm gonna be around today. And stay tuned for this to come up. Take care. Bye.